Ahead tonight, staff changes on the way for the Department of Immigration.
The BUT president speaks out on bullying and violence in schools.
And we're just hours away from the Festival of the Bahamas. The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Kendino Knowles. As always, it's good to have you with us.
Topping the news tonight, the small community of Bimini bustling with activity today as the economy there gets a fresh start. The event started this morning with the christening of a brand new vessel which will provide daily ferry service from Florida into the island.
Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, and members of cabinet today officially opened Resorts World, owned by the Genting Group. The Prime Minister toured the new facility that will add a significant number of jobs on that island and will also increase the number of tourist arrivals as a result of the opening of the new casino in tandem with the new ferry service.
It was my government's great pleasure to welcome and approve a joint venture between RAB Bahamas and Genting USA Limited, a subsidiary of Resorts World, to undertake a joint venture partnership known as BB Entertainment Limited, in connection with the development and operation of a modern cutting-edge casino and related facilities, which today is a reality in bold and living color.
Resorts World Bimini will create 400 direct jobs in Bimini, and we are sure that many more will be created when tourists start to arrive and spend in the local restaurants, the bars, museums, fishing, and shopping for local goods in the straw markets and other places. All these will generate millions of dollars in additional revenues for the Bahamas. Under a new private and public sector partnership with the government, we have installed navigational markers with lights at the harbor entrance and along the channel, which will help the local fishermen, as well as new navigational lighting for night flights at the airport, of which both will help the tourism industries here on the island.
And the wonderful thing about this, it ain't no promise. This is something that you can see, something that you can touch, and something that you can feel. And right now, the economic impact on the local economy will be enormous as Resorts World proceeds rapidly in concert with the government to turn Bimini into one of the most attractive destinations in the Bahamas, having due regard to the environment, local culture, and traditions.
When the new fiscal year starts on Monday, the government says it will address many of the problems of the past year.
Minister responsible for immigration, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says increasing the department's staff is a priority.
It's explicable to me that it's taken a year or more to get these new immigration officers on the roll, and it's just taken far too long because we need more bodies. The immigration force is 231 people, and it certainly can't cope with what is before us. So that's job number one, is getting the numbers up and the training started. We've got authority to hire some more because the government is committed to increasing the numbers because of the demands which are being placed on the department.
Minister Mitchell also addressed the increased budget for repatriation.
Well, the budget has in fact been increased to $1,200,000. So anticipating an increase, because we did have an increase in numbers in the first half of the year. And so to anticipate that we may have a larger problem, it has in fact been increased by $200,000.
It came to light this week that 15.9% of students had been bullied at least once within a specified 30-day period.
The statistics from the 2011 Bahamas Secondary School Drug Survey came on the heels of the Bahamas Union of Teachers annual general meeting, during which time Union President Belinda Wilson said it's a problem her members want resolved.
Some of our teachers are concerned as to what it is that we can do to make sure that our teachers are more safer on the school campus, and there's a lot of violence, and you hear about it every day, you see it all the time. So I would have responded that there has to be a corporate effort. So you're talking about the school, you're talking about the police, you're talking about the students, you're talking about the parents. There has to be a whole group effort in order for us to be able to have violence decreased.
Well, there's some tragic news coming into our newsroom. Police tell us that a young boy drowned while swimming at Goodman's Bay this afternoon. Police say a female is also hospitalized in what they're calling a near drowning. Police got the call around 12:30 this afternoon. The male child was pronounced dead in hospital. The condition of the female is unknown at this time. Incumbent president of the Airport, Airline and Allied Workers Union, Nellarine Harding, has retained the top post, winning a fourth consecutive election yesterday and defeating her opponent, Jewel Fountain.
Harding, who is the union's first female president, will work alongside executives Robert Pickstock, who was re-elected as vice president, Vernell Albury as Secretary General, Esther Clark as Treasurer, Cora Bull as Branch Chairman, Christopher Moss as Branch Secretary, and elected trustees Patricia Ramming, Janet Roll, and Melanie Moss.
Now, Harding says her team will be focusing on making the national flag carrier profitable, as she thanked members for their show of confidence.
Everybody still, although that's said, we've said to the minister, and we want a partnership with them in whatever they do. But the only way we can actually start to hold our own at Bahamas Air, the government has to inject some monies into the fleet, because that's what's killing us. We have reached our total maximum with going to Miami and Fort Lauderdale in regards to financially growing. Whatever it is we've been making for the past 7 years, it's going to remain constant. So we have to actually get new routes, and we have to get aircrafts that are going to be reliable to take us to destination outside of Miami and Fort Lauderdale. We had a talk, the minister, we're hoping that he's going to meet with us very soon, because there has to be some changes in growing this organization to go forward. Because I often say, I would like to know that within this next 5 years, we can be that entity that can at least pay our salaries versus having to go to the government for such a big subsidy.
Botanical Gardens will come alive tomorrow as the Food, Music, Arts and Craft Festival of the Bahama Islands takes place. To celebrate the country's 40th independence anniversary, COLIC, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, has teamed up with BTC, Coca-Cola and ZNS to host the major event for every Bahamian family to enjoy. COLIC brand manager is Jennifer Thurston.
We are really excited because we get to present everything that the Bahamas has to offer, or as much of it that we could capture in one spot. You have your music, you have your fantastic food, of course you have all of the cultural artisans that are going to be presenting. In between that you have lots of demonstrations. So I mean, I don't think you can get a better sample of the Bahamas than right now, this Saturday coming.
Now, representatives from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Angelique McKay, says Bahamians can expect a burst of cultural expression at the event.
We have demonstration stages throughout the day. We have performances throughout the day. Every 30 minutes, you're going to get to experience a piece of Bahamian culture. Be it straw plaiting, we have a lady that's going to be showing us how to strip, plait, and create straw goods, from start to finish. We also have a lady it's very popular right now, that's going to be teaching us how to catch and clean a crab. It's very exciting. So a lot of Nasuvians are not familiar with the process of catching and cleaning crabs. So that's something, look in your dailies. We have the schedule printed.
Now, if you're planning to attend the event, doors open at 10 a.m. Saturday with the official kickoff at noon. The fee is $5 for adults and $2 for children under 12. Entertainment will be provided by the Royal Bahamas Police Force Pop Band and the legendary Lassie Doughboys. The festival will be broadcast live right here on ZNS Network at 8 p.m.
Well, today was observed as Caribbean Regional HIV Testing Day, and people flocked to the Pompey Square to get tested.
The Bahamas, along with 20 other countries, observed the day with hopes that the activities would raise awareness about HIV, provide on-site rapid testing, and target at-risk groups, especially youth. A number of volunteers assisted with pre- and post-counseling following the HIV screening. Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. Delon Brennan said the idea is to decrease the stigma attached to HIV testing.
You get a finger prick, and that finger prick takes less than 60 seconds to have it actually done. It's similar to when, women have like a pregnancy test. If you look at the test itself, it's very similar. It's placed onto the test, and once it's placed onto the test, it takes about 15 minutes for that to process. During that time, we actually have people involved in other activities. So they go out, they learn some more information about how to use condoms.
The global goal, or the international goal, is to get to zero by 2015. That is no more HIV, basically, decrease the number of persons who are through sexual transmission who contract HIV, the number of TB deaths, the number of persons who are using drugs.
Scotiabank did offer incentives, as well as our partners with PEPFAR. They were giving out phone cards. We also had Vitamalt here. We've had, I don't want to forget anyone, Coca-Cola's been here, and Phil's Food Services were also partners. So there was lots of things going on throughout the day.
In our first look at weather, that stubborn mid-level trough continues to fire up showers and thunderstorms over parts of the northwest Bahamas, but outside of our studios just now, we have mostly cloudy skies, temperature 84 degrees, relative humidity around 79%, southeast winds at 6 knots, your barometric pressure 1,013.6 millibars. That's 29.93 inches, and it is falling. But stay tuned. Temperatures around the Family Violence, travel and boating forecast is still to come.
World War II veteran Comrade Cephas Ferguson is now the new chairman of the British Legion Bahamas branch. The 87-year-old takes over from Comrade Percy Strawn, who retired at 90 years old. Comrade Ferguson was joined by Comrade Ormond Poitier, who served as vice chair, and assistant treasurer Comrade Charles Fisher as second vice chairman, Comrade Matthias Monroe as executive secretary, and chaplain Adina Monroe. Ferguson discussed plans today for taking the nonprofit organization to the next level with more support from the government.
First, the government needs to recognize and bring this to the attention of the public. I would like for the government to do that. I have been doing my part, but until the government feels its responsibility, or at least search this history and find the fact that we have made our contribution during 1939 to 1945, and we have done our, at least we put our life on the line. That's what we did, and with nothing to remember from that time to now. So all we can hear about is PLP and FNM, but nothing about the world that brought them in existence. So we need to, again, as I said, I will do my part, and I depend on them who are my comrades to do likewise.
Well, still to come, 2 men are arraigned for the shooting of the Deputy Prime Minister's aide.
And coming up in sports, one basketball team gets ready to head to competition. You're watching